Welcome to the Real News Network. I'm Jessica Devereaux in Baltimore. And welcome to the Black Finance and Fraud Report. Now joining us is the man behind the report, Bill Black. Bill is an associate professor of economics and law at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. He's the author of the book, The Best Way to Rob a Bank is to Own One. And of course, he's a regular contributor to the Real News. Thanks for being with us, Bill.
Thank you.
So, Bill, what's going on in the world of finance and fraud this week?
So this is the dog that didn't bark. In an agreement with a whistleblower that made possible much of the case against Bank of America that led to, it's disputed how much is real, but at least an $8 billion recovery from Bank of America. The whistleblower, Mr. O'Donnell, got $57 million. All right. Now, you might have thought that that would lead to a big press conference in which people thanked him for his work, first in trying to block the frauds at Countrywide and Bank of America, and then when that didn't succeed, for telling the government about the frauds and aiding them in the cases and achieving the only real litigation success they've had against a senior Bank of America official. But of course, you'd be wrong. So when this $57 million payment to the whistleblower was made, the Justice Department made no statements, offered no words of praise, no words of thanks, gave him no awards, and didn't use the opportunity to call on other whistleblowers to come forward and to promise that this time the Justice Department would actually follow up in their prosecutions. And of course, all of this is happening just after the terrible embarrassment of President Obama supporting the passage of the omnibus bill with the bailout giveaway to Citi that was drafted by Citi and was lobbied for both by Citi and J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon personally. So it was the perfect opportunity as a PR matter to put the administration on the side of the angels and against the frauds. But we have the consistent pattern. Not only are there zero prosecutions, even today, the Obama administration never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity to hold the banksters accountable.
Bill, you mentioned the media not really paying attention to this big award to O'Donnell, but haven't they gone even further to try to bring his credibility down?
Well, they did originally. The media actually did cover the award, and the media actually asked the Justice Department for comment, and they said, no comment in all of this. They couldn't even muster during these holidays a thank you for the person who suffered so much by bringing the truth in. So yes, the New York Times previously, 2 years ago, when Mr. O'Donnell's identity first became known. So again, what the New York Times knew at that point is that O'Donnell, when he was an executive with Countrywide, had tried to prevent these frauds, warned against them, tried to get the Bank of America, which acquired Countrywide, to stop the frauds. All of this has failed, and then he'd gone to the Justice Department. So he's obviously the hero in the piece, but the article had only snide words, basically a smear, this is the New York Times 2 years ago, of O'Donnell. This time around, at least they didn't smear him, but they didn't have any particularly good words of their own either. And as I said, the real story is the administration, and that includes the president, the Department of Justice, and the top regulator, Mr. Curry of the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. None of these people could be bothered to thank the whistleblower. None of them could be bothered to take the opportunity, with all this publicity potential, to ask other whistleblowers to come forward. And of course, none of them made the promise that they would actually change and prosecute people.
All right, Bill Black, always a pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on the Real News Network.